Right everyone, and welcome to my review of F1 24. But first I'm going to start with some comments that I asked you a couple of weeks ago about I asked you on a community post to tell me what you liked and didn't like about F1 24. Now there are two comments there. Tom Gorian, lack of new stuff, absolutely. Fellow YouTuber as well, so go and check Tom out. And also Stefano said, I want the AI to make mistakes like they did on F1 2021. And I think that's a good place to start. The AI on this game are probably some of the worst we've seen in a long time on the F1 game. First of all, there's the disparity between pace. They've always been slower in the races than in qualifying on previous games. On this year's game, it's different. They are faster in the race, a lot faster in the race than they are in qualifying. Like you're looking like 1 or 2 clicks down from of AI between quali and the race as well. Yeah, and then there's the other problem with the AI. Apparently they've claimed they fixed ERS and DRS trains. I can tell you now that that has not been fixed. You know, it is very hard to get away from the AI. And I've also found that with the racing against the AI, like there are problems where if you do an alternative strategy, so let's say you're on the softer tyre compared to the AI, whereas on F1 23, and I think this was an advantage of F1 23's tyre model, whereas as soon as you went past 25%, you would see that time drop off as well. On this year's game, we don't have that drop off so much, which I suppose it's more realistic, but it gives problems where creating DRS trains, because you can't, even if you're on fresher, softer tyres, you need like at least a second of pace advantage over the car behind in order to break away. That is impossible really to do as well. We don't really, we don't see DRS trains in real life really. As well, I think that this needs to be sorted, but I think that they could probably increase the tyre wear a little bit of the model. That might help, and then make a DRS a little bit more effective, so that the cars don't just sit behind with DRS for lap after lap after lap. And I've seen AI just sit there and they don't make any progress as well. If you take the player away, they'll just be a train of AI as well. It's only when if you start making overtakes, especially in corners that aren't with DRS, break that train up as well. Now I personally think that needs to be looked at ASAP, but I think they've said, oh, we fixed it, and they're just not going to do it. The problem with this game, I say, it is a big problem, is that QA testers, it wasn't QA tested, this game. So yeah, we've had the thing with the handling model, for example. We're already on our second handling model and the game's only been out a month as well. Had they brought it out, let's say today, when because I think F1 23 was released, the Champions Edition was released today last year, if that makes sense, as well. I think that if they had done that, then they could have actually spent some time QA testing, especially excuse me, instead of just rushing the game out in a terrible state as well. With a lot of bug fixes that are going to be needed. We've had weekly patches almost since the game was launched. We're on our 4th patch since the game was launched. If you think about that, those patches could have been used instead to before the game came out, and focus on improving the game. But obviously the player base should not be the QA tester. It's as simple as that. They need to actually get some people to play the game, test the game, and again, what was this feedback was seen in the beta test. They didn't do anything about it. The fact of the matter is, if they're going to do this, they need to get the beta testing up earlier, so that they can then make changes based on any beta testing or alpha testing before the game comes out, not afterwards, as well. Then we move to driver career mode, and apparently it's supposed to be the main focus, really. Driver career mode is, to me, not done enough, not nearly enough on what it needs to do. First of all, you've got the fact that, you've got the fact that there haven't been enough changes to it. Yes, you've reintroduced the agent, and I think that Elena's presence is good, but when you get fired, there's no cutscene. There's no cutscene at the end of the season as well, as you pick your new team, or with an existing team. You know, I think that is a big problem. Then, you know, there's a lack of, you know, yes, we've got those secret meetings, which I think is actually pretty good. You know, the contract stuff is actually improved. I would like to see first, second, or equal driver status introduced, but I guess you see that with recognition. I would prefer if they did that instead through the contract rather than recognition. I know it's something that happens, you know, but that's how it works in real life. You know, you either have a first driver, a second driver, or an equal driver. If in the race you don't get out the way, if you're a first driver and you're a second driver, then of course might lead to another cutscene where you have it with the team principals. You know, as well. Maybe your agent might be there as well. You know, we don't. Of course, the team. You have other personnel like the HR as well. I just think that, you know, obviously we saw that a little bit with the email system in Breaking Point, and I think they should have brought that back, because the emails in career mode they don't exist really. You don't hear from the team principal at all. There's not enough characters at play in the career mode, and that's something that Breaking Point showed. And you know, compare that to what we've got in driver career mode, where literally the only character we really see is our agent these days, you know, who's a cutscene, unless of course you see Anton Davison talking on and on and on every single race weekend about preparation for a race weekend instead of about the drivers. That is something else that desperately needs to be fixed on this game as well. Yeah, customization options as well is a big letdown in this game. Like, the problem is that, you know, you want a helmet that you are. I think they expected a lot of people to drive as a real life driver, and it's just not the case. Very few people I've seen. I think there's been a few, you know, the majority of people are still driving as themselves. Now obviously helmets are moddable on the F1 game, you know, but if you're on console, you've got no option but to pick 3 very poor helmets. You know, there were some very good designs that, you know, appeared later on F123, and I think they need to get them in the base game. Why are they removing helmets and customization options? You know, how much time do they really spend on making it you could pick a driver to drive as a real life driver or a My Team icon? You know, spend some time instead on focusing on customization options. And that brings me to Challenge Career, because Challenge Career is another one that they really haven't, you know, it's not really that great, to be honest. As far as I'm concerned, it's just a leaderboard as well. Obviously they're doing it as a marketing thing so they can try and get the real life drivers involved, but I think they could have done this better with F1 World and Scenario Mode. I believe Scenario Mode is still there. I don't know, because I've not played F1 World at all, because, you know, at the end of the day, I think they need to break it up. I don't really see why it's still in the game. F1 World, they should just have a scenario mode with these, you know, they ask the driver to pick a race that they've enjoyed from the past, maybe get some classic cars as well. That would be nice. If not, just a race from this season that they've enjoyed. You know, so let's say Max Verstappen, he picks Canada, for example, or his win at Spain. You know, you drive at him. Charles Leclerc probably picked Monaco. as well to drive as. You know, stuff like that I think would be a lot better than a chat spending a lot of time in challenge career mode where everyone's playing driver career mode. And even 2-player career mode, there are issues like, you know, when you go into R&D, one of the nice new features in this game is your teammate can help purchase R&D, unless you're in 2-player career mode, in which case the team will pick R&D instead of your teammate. You know, that's really should have been tested and, you know, needs to be fixed. Right? Why is that a thing on the game? And again, it comes back to this game hasn't been tested. It's as simple as that. Yeah, multiplayer I've not tried, but I believe it's pretty much the same as last year, you know. And this is again another question. Why isn't elimination mode as part of the base game? You know, I presume it's going to come back at some point, and yes, I don't mind doing that. I think they need to, you know, make that part of the base game and then introduce another another online party game like Tag or Catch the Flag. You know, there's so many as well. I think Forza Horizon 5 showed us a little bit of that. You know, with those online party games with like bowling and stuff like that as well. Yes, you know, multiplayer other than that really hasn't changed a lot. So yeah, my team as well, I forgot to mention, been copied and pasted, so there's no changes there. Obviously they chose driver career mode to make changes to driver career mode because they thought they could get away with it. And the fact of the matter is that it's actually, you know, it's released a month ago and it's already on discount. That's how little many players are playing F124. It's probably got the least amount of players on F124 as well on any F1 game recently. Obviously, we're still yet to see stuff like Christmas, people getting the game for Christmas, for example. But you know, compare it to previous launches, this is probably one of the worst launches for an F1 game. And you know, they need, you know, you've got to do a lot better, EA and Codemasters. If you want people to buy this game, then you know you've got to do a lot better, because where the game sits now, driver career mode is you know, they've not done a lot to it, other than reintroduce the agent, which we had beforehand. You know, we've already had the agent in previous F1 games, you know, being Emma, and you know, we have more cutscenes with Emma because we don't have a cutscene for being fired. You know, we've got those secret meetings, in which I think, as I said, I might be repeating myself, I think that's nice, but yeah, you don't see any objectives from the team overall. You just get clumsy mid-race objectives, which I don't mind having mid-race objectives, as you see. You do see that occasionally when we're monitoring stuff like that, and I do think that is occasionally. Some of them, I don't think they should be every race though that we see them, but yeah, I've rattled on about F124. This is your chance to let me know in the comments from below what you think about F124, because to be honest, I don't think this game is going to have many players playing it, especially with the 2 other games that are coming out later this year. Next month with F1 Manager 2024, I think that's going to take a lot of the player base away from F124, and also Assetto Corsa Evo is coming out as well. So 2 big games. It's not looking good for the F1 game, and I think that you know, the amount of players that are playing it now is going to definitely decrease by the time those 2 games are both out as well. But yeah, overall, lack of customization options. Yep, lack of changes. You know, the changes they made to career mode, not enough. You know, no real changes to any of the other game modes as well. It's a poor game overall, you know, and it's already, to show that, it's already on sale, because not many people are playing it as well. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you are new around here, then please do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. Until the next video, then I'll see you next time. Take care, enjoy your day, and goodbye.